And we are back. Hope you all enjoy those messages, them duct tapes. And honestly, if you talk about highlights of 2021, Vortex Slam making the Shelby duct tape
True.
that we've used very often because it is, if you ask me, the best one. It's up there.
Yeah. I don't play it too often because I need to switch out my duct tapes, but also steel mold with the chrome is a lie. Like that was.
Yeah, I think we made it last year though.
Mate, regardless, mate, it was beautiful. Like Vortex in general coming out with his duct tapes has been amazing.
Yeah, it's been a massive boon, I think, to all the clips, and it encourages more clips. Or at least that's how I like to imagine it. But that is the end of the duct tape, at least for this current broadcast. We are going to be kicking off a grand finals here on Blackburn LE. Or in the bottom right corner map, starting all the way in the bottom right corner, we have a blue Zerg player coming down from the land of Hong Kong. The best player from Hong Kong. He has proven that once again after beating Beastork. He's going to be representing the Juggernauts. He is GogojOey.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Blackburn LE, going for a 12 pull, we have El Conquistador himself from the land of the Philippines, also representing the Juggernauts. It is, oh my god, Caviar Napoleon Marquises Acampado himself, EnDerr.
Let's go!
Let's go! 6 things are on the way. 8lings. He's going for the boys!
We got Spine Rush on our hands.
Hey, fun facts, before this series started, EnDerr messaged me. He's like, yo, I'm up 1-0, right? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, nice. Let's go.
Time to take advantage of that.
Oh god, he is scouted by GogojOey. The Overlord does spot all of this coming his way, and now GogojOey, he's going for the wall. He's going to try and deny the spines.
And you know what? I think he's going to be able to.
Oh god, exactly. The wall is up. Are we going to see a cancel on the natural base as well for some added resources? Looks like for now, no. GogojOey, he just has to buy a little bit more time for his spawning pool to finish up and then send out all those things.
Those things are still in transit. Some very nice positioning of those Eva chambers, though. Spine crawlers are not in the best position to really start picking away at that mineral line.
Oh, no.
Already a little bit of a slip up from GogojOey, taking a little bit more damage than he needed to on some of these drones.
Even there, a couple more lings get picked up. He has to be careful. He's going to try and get us around on these spores. Sorry, on these spines. Is it going to be enough? His reinforcements are coming out, and he's doing it.
Those 2 drones were preventing this round on a couple of these spine crawlers, but one of them will go down. Another one will come up, though.
True. Not just one, but 2. The queen gets surrounded as well. Yo, can EnDerr do this? He has to be so careful. He has to make sure he fights within range of these spine crawlers. But GogojOey doesn't care. He just evacuates. He goes down to the low ground.
Yeah, and because EnDerr was prevented from getting those spine crawlers up at the edge of the creep, he is unable to really punish this ramp. There's nothing preventing the evacuation.
Yeah, finally he does go down the ramp, but a little bit more mining was had there, and now more lings are on the way. Everything is going to get cleaned up. Only 2 spines remaining, and that is not going to be enough.
Or is it? As there isn't as much surface area on this lower spine. Sure, it goes down in the end, but a lot of damage has been dealt.
Yeah, but EnDerr has 2 drones.
True. Compared to GogojOey's 15.
Yeah, the spine comes down to the low ground, but it is not going to be enough. And EnDerr, he wanted a cheeky win here. He wanted a cheeky lead in this series, and I thought he could maybe do it. But the defenses were just too good here, and GogojOey is looking to tie up the series.
Sideways 1-1. Beautiful, mate. Once he saw those drones being pulled, he knew exactly how to follow. How to follow? How to react. There we go. How to follow through.
There you go. There you go. I do think that he slipped up a little bit in the beginning. I think he lost like 1 drone for free in the start. But like other than that, like it was a really great strategy for him to throw down those Evo chambers, as you saw, because that he forced the unburrow and the uproot of the spines, and they had to kind of waste a lot of time moving around. It takes them a lot of time to reburrow as well. Great moves. Nice moves there from GogojOey.
After that, less than 5 minutes, less than 4 minutes. It's able to tie up our series.
There we go. Already diving into the next game. Meanwhile, I just saw Starduck posted a lobby in the chat.
Clan chat, yeah.
Cat.
I almost clicked on it. And I saw it pop up. I was like, oh, wait a minute. That's just Kerrigan. There's a map named after Kerrigan.
Fanata Starduck.
Yet, anyway.
Oh, God. Oh, speaking of highlights as well, as I just saw Kura's highlight from 2020. We got new emotes this year. Towards the end, but
yeah,
got new emotes.
Yeah, I mean I mean the biggest highlight obviously is our professional team now, but yeah.
True.
We had a lot of updates here on the Cranky Ducklings organization. But one thing that has remained is the Grand Platypus Open. Which I guess is another highlight of that. We went off of Losers pick to Veto's this year, didn't we? Or was it last year? At some point. It's all kind of a blur. Anyway, we're going to be continuing our series here on Hotwire LE. We're in the bottom left-hand corner map, starting all the way in the bottom left-hand corner. We have our blue Zerg player coming down from the land of Hong Kong. The best player from Hong Kong who's known for his aggression, but has also proven his defensive prowess here. That's what I'm going to use. He's going to represent Juggernauts. He is GogojOey.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Hardwire LE, we have the Filipino Zerg player. In that last game, trying to go for a little bit of a cheeky rush, but not working out. But still in this series, representing the Juggernauts, it is EnDerr.
The cheek is on the other cheek?
Side?
No, wait, that doesn't make any sense.
Foot?
Yeah, the other side. The other foot? Yeah.
There you go.
The point is, EnDerr's not being cheeky this game.
He's not. He is going for his standard opener in ZvZ. I saw Shiva Blaster in the chat earlier being like, what happened? Why is there a hatchery, an additional hatchery at the natural? Well, this is standard EnDerr play. He did it throughout the entire day, not just the day, the entire year in ZvZs. It's just his style. It's just his thing.
I think if people are wondering why EnDerr does it at towards the end of the broadcast, they haven't paid attention.
Yeah.
Oh, they came in late. Yeah, they came in late. Yeah, that's not fair. You might have... Yeah.
It's
I
true.
apologize.
It's true. It's one of those things where EnDerr hasn't been the most active player, so, you know, the likelihood of you tuning into all of his matches isn't that very high. But when you see him, especially in this matchup, you have the signature hatchery here at his natural base. Meanwhile, he's across the map with his Lings, and he's going to try and get a couple of drone kills, but so far he hasn't been able to find any.
Yeah, chipping away at this hatchery, making it a little bit weaker if he does decide to go for a follow-up push later on. Oh my lord, that's a lot of Lings going down from the side of GogojOey, but the queens are enough to keep EnDerr at bay, or singular queen at that.
Exactly. Talking a little bit more about EnDerr's opener is that the way that he's able to do this is that he does delay his gases a lot. You can see how late Ling's speed is compared to his opponents. More often than not, he still does invest in Ling's speed, but a little bit later. And going for this kind of build and this kind of later explosion gas style does mean that he can opt to skip Ling's speed if he wants and go into, say, a lair.
Yeah, which we have seen him do a couple of times in this tournament. Trying to go immediately into some Spire play. I don't think it's worked out for him yet, though. Oh no, it worked out for him once on Pride of Altaris.
Yeah. Mixed success with the Spire. We saw GogojOey shut down the Spire play when you recall when he went for that Nidus. But that was after a very aggressive opener that EnDerr wasn't able to really capitalize on. But we'll see how that kind of turns out here as he opts to wall off. Ling's speed is still in the way, and ooh, he goes for a hidden Roach Warren behind the main.
This is going to be so tough for GogojOey to scout. For all he knows it's going to be a 2 base, but he doesn't know if it's a Roach or a Muta.
Yeah, and I'm really curious to see if this is going to be another like big roach push on hatch tech. We've seen EnDerr do that I think twice, maybe 3 times today. He did it against Miyomika as well, just going for this big push with nothing but lings and roaches, and it can really catch you off guard. Last time he did it, he didn't kill GogojOey, but he did kill the 3rd base, which kind of led to a victory later on.
Just recalling the details for that, but yeah, that rings a bell. I gotta say yes, I do recall that.
It happened like an hour ago. Oh god. As GogojOey, he's having a hard time, he doesn't scout, but he does see the roaches pop out, and that's a lot of roaches. Hopefully, GogojOey recognizes what's happening, because GogojOey is actually doing the same thing. Oh my god!
He is doing the exact same thing. He has made a heart switch into lings, which, you know, initially they were meant to reinforce without reliable constitution, but funnily enough, it's doing such a good job of blocking these roaches, surrounding them, and leaving them uber vulnerable.
Mate, this is kind of a blind counter from GogojOey, like also not investing into a lair, going for this big roach ling push, and EnDerr never scouted his opponent at all. He was blindly doing this, and he's done this a couple of times today, so because of that, it feels like GogojOey was able to adapt and able to shut down EnDerr and kind of clip his wings before he could really get in the air.
Yeah, funnily enough, the counter to what EnDerr is doing is the exact same thing as what EnDerr is doing.
Yeah, and the problem is that GogojOey got there a little bit better. He's also got a much faster upgrade here with +1. He's already working on his lair, like he's already working on that next step.
Yeah, he's far and away when it comes to the tech, but hasn't really been grabbing Ravagers, I will say. So EnDerr, at least for now, has some control of the map by taking out these overlords.
Yeah, this does supply block GogojOey. He's in the dark. He slips him a little bit with this ling, and he sees the army move out. He knows that it's coming across the map, and he needs to prepare at home. It's a little bit scary. Thankfully he hasn't droned up, but he was supply blocked a little bit there.
Yeah, he's still kind of supply blocked a little. Wants to make an overlord, but here comes a massive run by of lings. Hopefully this, it pulls back the entire army of EnDerr.
No.
Oh no, this is buying GogojOey so much time to get his defenses up.
Mate, this was supposed to be such a strong timing, and I think it would have been, but now the entire army comes back home, and he didn't need it at all. Like, by the time they get back home, the lings were finally cleaned up by the reinforcements.
Yeah, notice that those lings of GogojOey actually didn't get too much damage done. They killed a queen, which is nice, but the biggest thing that they've done is to pull back the entire army of EnDerr.
Yeah, and that was...
now GogojOey's looking to fight.
Exactly, that was huge. GogojOey, he was supply blocked at the time. Now he has to be careful. That's a lot of lings. He has to be careful not to get surrounded. If he has to, he can give up this 3rd base.
He doesn't want to, though, and he does get surrounded. The Biles are going to land on top of queens and roaches. Finally, the lings are starting to get thinned out. And I was going to say it's too little too late, but actually, no, that +1 upgrade advantage from GogojOey is really helping him out a ton. The defender's advantage as well is helping out a ton.
Yeah, it just goes to show how many roaches GogojOey really had. Even though that was the best case scenario for EnDerr, he got the surround, he got the Biles in the juicy center of the army of GogojOey. It still wasn't enough to break him. And what's scary is that GogojOey, now we're even in upgrades. GogojOey even has the worker advantage. He has a 3rd base. Everything is going up in GogojOey's favor. The longer this goes on, the better it will be for him. And EnDerr's in a really rough place.
He is, but his army is not. That's a really good position to defend for EnDerr. I feel like GogojOey doesn't need to be this aggressive, but you know, he's just trying to contain EnDerr for as long as possible. Hello.
I agree. Maybe GogojOey can slip in and like pick off like a Ravager or 2. Nice target fire. He gets 1, he gets 2, he gets 3.
Yeah, trying to pick off as many as he can. These roaches are very tanky and very beefy. They can afford to take a couple of volleys if it means that they're able to snipe these Ravagers. Yeah. Like so.
You can see the intentional target fire there from GogojOey. He knew that he couldn't end the game there, but picking off these high-tech units, picking off the Ravagers is huge. Very nice pickoffs there for GogojOey. And behind this, he just keeps droning up, you know, working on his upgrades, keeps working on his army.
Oh, well, he stopped droning up, but that's because he's on a stable economy now. He's on a good enough drone count for this stage of the game. He's making nothing but roaches. And he's, I guess, just looking to pressure EnDerr into cracking.
Yeah, he has to be careful though. Like, you could argue maybe he's overextending a little bit. He's losing a couple of roaches here a little bit needlessly.
Yeah, once again being a little bit overzealous in his attack, but this time the target firing was not in his favor. And just like that, the momentum has swung into EnDerr's favor.
Exactly. GogojOey, he had half the army supply across the map, and he decided to engage with the army, and just like that, he loses like 10 plus roaches, almost for nothing there. So, GogojOey miscalculating the situation a little bit. Also, a little bit of an anti-timing. EnDerr did finish up +2 much faster than GogojOey, so he had that advantage as well. So because of that, EnDerr, he stabilizes a little bit.
Yeah, funnily enough, I mean, he's getting to a pretty close worker count now. I mean, not as good, but good enough to really sustain his production for the time being.
Exactly, and now any kind of advantage that GogojOey had earlier, he doesn't really have anymore. Now things are much more even.
They really are.
Oh my god, these he needs Overlord speed. Finally he recognized. He's like, I gotta get Overlord speed. He's losing too many. Oh god.
Yeah, these supply blocks aren't killing GogojOey yet, but as the game goes on, it absolutely can. Every time GogojOey is forced to make an Overlord instead of more roaches, it really does dip. It really does have a effect that adds up. But hello,
my god,
a couple of roaches are able to sneak into the third base.
Yeah, EnDerr being punished for his greed. He was having some fun in the middle of the map. He was like, lol, I'm just gonna kill a couple of Overlords here and there and just keep killing them. But he was distracting himself, and GogojOey goes for a massive counterattack. He gets a snipe on the third base, which is huge. But now, oh my god, the main army's getting surrounded. Oh,
is he gonna be able to surround the surround? Nope, is the answer. As EnDerr crushes half of GogojOey's army without any trouble, and now he's going to deal with the other half.
Yeah, GogojOey tries to go for his own surround, but he doesn't have the numbers. That's a massive loss for GogojOey. Sure, he got a third base, but he was, again, overzealous. Oh, his Overlords are rallied here as well, which could be a little bit of an issue. Now, even though EnDerr lost his base, he is far ahead in the army supply.
And all it takes is one really good push from EnDerr to end the game.
Yeah, and
the push that we're seeing right now.
Exactly, and like that was unnecessary as well. Like GogojOey, oh god, pushing out the way he did wasn't necessary, and now he's trying to throw down some spine crawlers, which is great. Can he get them in time though? Oh god,
I doubt it, especially if he walks into all of these roaches of his own army. It's down about 40 supply at the moment. These have to be the best vials in the world for GogojOey in order for him to have an even chance.
Yeah, and even then, I just don't think that is this world. As we do see more vials landing in the favor of EnDerr, the spine is going to fall as well if he gets a little bit too close. GogojOey's trying to hold on. He's trying to reinforce as best he can.
Yeah, and honestly, he's trading pretty efficiently here. He's not losing as many units as EnDerr. The gap in supply is slowly evening out. His advantage helping him out so much. Yeah. EnDerr did eat a couple of vials, but I think it's too much in the end for EnDerr. GG is called, and EnDerr will go to match point, just like so.
GG, and god. We saw that. It was so great. It was such an amazing play when GogojOey went for that counterattack and got that base. But you can see in the graph, you can see just GogojOey get his army surrounded and just drop hard in supply. Like, oh god.
Yeah. It's getting just too bloodlust that GogojOey is. It's like every single time, like again, I feel like we say this to a lot of players who we cast, but you just need to calm the F down. Once he defended against the initial assault from EnDerr, and I think if he just got a fourth base from there, he would have been in a much better position.
Yeah, snipe a base and back off, but instead he sniped a base and he's like, yo, alright, let's go, let's try and go for the killing move. Just very overzealous, over eager. Just saw an opening when there wasn't one there, and just like that.
It goes, yeah. I would say it's like those old school cartoons where they paint a scene.
Yeah.
They just run into a wall.
It was nothing but a tarp in the end, and now EnDerr, he's up in the series. He only needs one more to be our GPO 85 champion.
Un momento, por favor. That's all he needs. Again, I just still thinking about how crazy it is that in the final GPO of the year, EnDerr just pops off like so. Even if he doesn't win these finals, he's already proven himself as one of the most terrifying contenders in the entire region.
Oh yeah. I can't wait to see more of him. Again, it's one of those things that's a little bit sad, where he came back to the game in, again, September, but it was like, you know, DreamHack Summer.
After a
and,
lot of, yeah.
Like, the previous seasons of DreamHacks had already come to an end. Like, he had missed an opportunity to maybe participate in some of these other events. But, depending on his form, he can still be there and show up next year.
Yeah, 2022. You're already getting teased about a schedule coming up in the next couple of weeks. And here we are, continuing our grand finals here on Pride of Altaris LE. We're in the top left-hand corner map, spawning all the way in the top left-hand corner. We, of course, have our blue Zerg player coming out from the land of Hong Kong. He is the best player from Hong Kong, representing the Juggernauts. He is not Stop Joey, as Steel is informing us. He is, in fact, GogojOey.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Pride of Altaris LE, we have the Filipino Zerg player. He is up in this series 2-1, only needs uno más to be El Conquistador himself. It is EnDerr.
Is it going to be his game?
Yeah, I mean, mate, we're on Pride of Altaris. There's a goal base. Someone's gonna take it, right?
Well, we didn't see it the last time they faced on this map.
True. Did they face on this map last time?
Yeah. That was the map that EnDerr went from Mutas.
True! Now I remember.
Yeah, it's coming back.
I remember the Ling run-bys. I remember the +1 melee Ling run-bys that that lacked a Baneling Nest. I remember that.
I forgot about that until you mentioned it now, but yeah, now I remember that. And I almost wish I didn't.
Oh, God. Feels bad, man. So hopefully, if GogojOey does go for a +1 melee strat like that, he reconsiders and goes for a Baneling Nest as well. But as we can see, there is no Evo Chamber. Like, we don't have a rush into any kind of upgrade like that.
Yeah, just staying safe while his opponent's on match point.
Exactly. Meanwhile, EnDerr should be doing EnDerr things, slowly banking up, and I imagine going to be working on his natural base at some point, working on his third hatchery, I should say.
His third hatchery in his natural base, yeah.
Oh,
no, he's actually taking an actual third
base.
What?
Standard third timing?
He's lost his goddamn mind.
He's dead.
He's been replaced by an imposter.
Oh my god, Nox showed up at his apartment. He's like, yo, it's been a while, let me play. And then EnDerr's over his shoulder like, what the hell are you doing right now? This should be at your natural.
This is not how we play ZvZ.
This is not how we do. So I'm a little bit concerned. This hatchery already taking a lot of damage. EnDerr will be able to swat this away, but we have more Lings coming across the map. And this is what I'm worried about. This is standard ZvZ. We have standard third timings. I gotta give the edge to GogojOey here. Just a little bit.
Yeah. Just because he's used to doing this.
Yeah. Here we go.
Playing against this.
16 Lings are on the way. His goal here is to deny this third. What I will say is that EnDerr's Baneling Nest is very nicely timed, so he will be able to warp in a couple of Banelings, so it's going to be all about those connections. Uh-oh. Not if he loses his Lings, though. Oh, God.
Yeah. Oh, okay, a couple of them are on the way, but he has lost his buffer for those Banelings. A free queen is given to GogojOey as well.
Yeah,
and
that
this hatch
hatchery.
is not long for this world.
Yeah, it's dead, mate. It's all. Oh god, he just needs to focus it down, avoid the banelings. Oh god, he does.
Once again, the edge given to GogojOey.
Exactly, and this is what I was really concerned about. I was thinking maybe GogojOey would kill the third, but the banelings will connect and he'll lose the lings. But he even kept all his lings alive.
They just continue to harass that third base location. Make sure that EnDerr never gets beyond a 2-base economy going. He is sending his banelings across the map, and hopefully he can get something done there, but we'll see.
Yeah, the banelings actually get turned around because of this ling run by. Oh my god, he even gets into the main base. He will be able to scout the fact that, hold up, there is no fast lair, there are no additional gases, nothing crazy is on the way. I feel safe and sound at home.
Yeah, and with that safety, he is just droning up.
Drones are on the way. We got a roach warren as well. GogojOey is working on that. Has to be careful not to
hatch. Say, I'll make it fair for both of us. I'll weaken my hatch.
I'll weaken my own hatch, mate. It's so good. It's so good. But things are looking really good for GogojOey. And oh, Jesus Christ!
Almost pulls a bit of a Miyamika there, but pulls away. Just in the nick of time.
Thankfully, the spirit of Miyamika did not overtake Nux there. It almost did.
Yeah. Spirit of Miyamika is too busy playing AoE.
It's true. It's true. Shake my head, Miyamika. Shake my head. But now I'm really concerned for EnDerr. I'm thinking, like, sure, he can try and come back here. A bold move. He goes for his lair at his third.
He really isn't used to getting a third base, is he?
Yeah, his third got sniped last game, mate. That's what I'm concerned about. But yo, he's going for a run by. The wall's not a wall. Oh no, it's a wall. No!
Was a wall, surprisingly.
It was one ling on hold position, and because it was on hold position, it was messing the AI up. Like how? That was like an MVP ling.
Really was. I just saw 2 banelings blow up to take out a single ling.
Yeah. Everything blow up, mate.
No damage could be... Yeah, no damage could really be dealt there.
Oh my god. EnDerr had such a great opportunity there, but he could not get through that wall. And now the aggression gets swatted away. And what's scary is that GogojOey, he's hit that sweet spot, 56 drones. Now he can just go for a big boy roach push if he wanted to, but he decides to do things with style instead.
Yeah, Spire on the way in case the game does continue and he needs another way of harassing EnDerr. But what is scary is that army supply I'm looking at.
Oh yeah, EnDerr, he just got supply blocked due to losing this overlord. We have 5 overlords in production, bit of an laser overlord, if you will. And this is just, I don't know how EnDerr's supposed to defend here. He's gonna pull his queens though, which will help out, but he no longer has the high ground.
Really doesn't. GogojOey gets such a good concave. Well, not even a concave, just a straight line at the moment, but it's more than enough to deal with the army of EnDerr.
Yeah, he wants to secure his victory, so he backs off. He wants to kill in this 4th base. He doesn't want to get distracted too much here, so he could try and break the Roach army, but he backs off again, just wants to get a secure kill here as he waits for those reinforcements. Like
so. EnDerr trying to buy time for his own reinforcements now, but yeah, even with the defender's advantage, it's really hard to catch up on supply, isn't it?
Yeah, oh god. Even with that bought time, as GogojOey did arguably waste it on that 4th, like EnDerr just doesn't have the numbers, upgrades have equalized, and something that he's 100% not prepared for are these mutas.
Yeah, we don't see any spore crawlers. We don't see any or too many queens here.
Yeah, not at all as the mutas, and there it is.
Immediately taps out. We are going to the ace match.
GG, well played. See, this is what happens if you take a 3rd base at a regular time.
Yeah, we just lose.
Or I guess I should say, if your 3rd base, if your 3rd hatchery is at your 3rd base.
Exactly. If you don't get a macro hatch, if you don't make your 3rd hatch into a macro hatch.
It's so awkward to say, but it's the reality.
It is. No, reality plays. No, reality does play Zerg, doesn't he?
Reality's a Terran player, mate. Oh god.
Yeah, well, Korean reality is.
He is. He is. American reality is Protoss.
There we go.
There you go. There you go. How could you forget, mate? Do you remember he was like
there goes gravity.
There you go. But now we're going into our ace match, mate. We're tied up 2-2. We're here.
It all comes down to this. Glittering Ashes. As we load into Glittering Ashes LE in the top right hand corner map, starting all the way to the top right hand corner, we of course have our blue Zerg player coming down from the land of Hong Kong. He only needs un momento, por favor, to take this series, to take this championship, and to cement himself as the Grand Platypus of 2021. Can he do it? He's going to be representing the Juggernauts. He is GogojOey.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Glittering Ashes LE, we have the Filipino Zerg player, one of the Zerg Muta Triangle representing the Juggernauts. It is the one, the only, the mighty Yaku. I don't think you've been able to say his name today. Go for it, mate.
You haven't yeah. Caviar Napoleon Maquises Acampado.
I felt so bad getting the intro every time. I noticed like, oh, you haven't said it yet. You haven't said it. Oh god.
I say it in my sleep.
There
I just say it throughout the day, you know, randomly, because it's cool to say.
It's a beautiful name. It's beautiful.
It really is. It's Caviar Napoleon Maquises Acampado, Jaime Arturo Duran Silencio,
yeah.
Max Angel, or Maxwell D. Angel.
Maximum Well D. Angel, mate. There you go. You gotta make it
a
longer.
lot of cool names. Yeah.
Oh god, but here we go. All is right in the world. I noticed what you said, Shiva, in the chat. You're like, I see a third at EnDerr's Nat, and I'm like, what the hell is this? Light sees a third at the normal Nat. He's like, what the hell is this? All is right in the world. The third is at the natural.
Yeah, balance has been restored.
Beautiful.
Spirits are at peace.
And speaking of balance being restored, EnDerr did go for a pool first opening, so he's about to rock up. Forces all these drones back into the main base, so a lot of... Oh, can he get the drone? He will.
I think that's the first time he was actually able to get the drone.
Yeah,
that's a good omen.
The entire day today. Oh, can he get us? Oh god, he wants another. Oh my god.
That he is gonna have to be... He is gonna have to be satisfied with just that singular drone.
Oh, he actually
a couple of lings.
Yeah, he catches a couple of lings as they pop out of the eggs as well. So very nicely done here by EnDerr. GogojOey was not anticipating a pull first. That's why he didn't have anywhere near as many lings as he normally does, because it's Glittering Ashes. He just didn't expect it. But at least in the end, GogojOey is able to stabilize and he's able to hold on to his natural base.
But the moral victory is with EnDerr for now. Exactly.
As EnDerr is prioritizing his gases, he has to catch up, of course. He did kind of skip out on that for the faster hatchery as we are slowly getting into this game, and I'm very curious to see what these players have in store for us, what EnDerr has in store for us as GogojOey takes a standard third base.
What is wrong with him?
And this is what I wanted, mate.
The lair coming up as a follow-up. All right, and I was actually looking at this and thinking, this looks pretty similar to how he set up the Hatch Tech Roach all-in in the previous series, isn't it? But he is pulling off something very different this time with a 2-base Muta. Or 3-base Muta, I should say.
2-base Muta, 3 Hatch Muta. Let's go! As all the gases are being taken, we have +1 melee on the way. This all screams Mutalisks. But GogojOey doesn't see that. He doesn't know. He has very limited scouting information right now. He is going for his own lair, but he's going for +1 range, so it looks like he's going into roaches. He needs to get an eye on this. He needs to scout this so he can respond.
Yeah, we got one Overlord outside of the main base of EnDerr at the moment. Unlike the previous game where GogojOey shut down the Spire with Roachinitis, this time EnDerr has plenty of vision around his main.
Exactly, he's got a queen there in the main base as well. If you're wondering, earlier this tournament, EnDerr tried to go 2-base Muta and he died horribly to queens, roaches, through a Nidus from GogojOey. Meanwhile, the Lings are about to show up. Oh my god, there's not enough energy for Transfuse!
Yeah, to get a queen, but unfortunately unable to get much else. He does spot all these Lings pop out right at the end though, and that should be the first sign of danger here for GogojOey.
Yeah, this is really scary. There's a lot of Lings, especially if EnDerr waits for Ling speed and +1 melee, which he will. He can go across the map and just annihilate everything. Like, these roaches, they're not in high enough numbers. They're going to get surrounded. And again, it looks like GogojOey still is unaware about the Spire.
Completely unawares, yeah. It's a possibility with this many Lings out, but yeah, he hasn't been able to confirm that.
Mate.
Now he's on the back foot.
Yeah, now it's go time. GogojOey finally, he goes in with an Overseer. He scouts the lair, he scouts the Spire. He's like, oh no, what have I done? I don't know if you noticed, but earlier he canceled his Baneling Nest to make a Roach Warren instead. Without Banelings, I don't know if he can hold on to his third base. The Roach is getting surrounded.
Oh, some nice Sim City here. She's trying to deny as much surface area as possible, but the roaches are still getting eviscerated.
Yeah, that they are, but the reinforcements are coming in as well. It looks like that Sim City was good enough here to hold on to the third base, so GogojOey defends well, but what is his anti-air looking like? He did lose all his queens at the third base. Does he have queens in the main and the natural? He does have one each, but no spores. He's going for a counterattack as the mutas are popping out.
I guess he's just hoping he can end the game before he has to worry about the mutas, but decides that that's not possible in the end. Backs away and starts getting spore crawlers.
Exactly, like GogojOey is not set up to counterattack right now. He cannot deal in any damage at all with these roaches. He has to stay at home. He's buying a little bit of time with these roaches, forcing the mutas to come back home, but he doesn't have a real response to the mutas right now. His queen count is pretty low. He doesn't have a Hydra Den. He's gonna be stuck at home.
So hear me out, Light.
Alright.
Nidus.
I think
GogojOey.
Nidus is a great response to Aspire. It's not a great response to mutas. Like, just because all the overlords have been taken out, GogojOey has zero vision outside of his own base.
Yeah, even with a run by, it'd be too much of a risk. Just throw down Nidus from there.
Exactly. Even a Spore gets picked off. The Queens didn't have enough energy for a Transfuse, so they couldn't really deal with the Mutalisk. The Mutalisk count, it's getting even higher, and he's going for the Queens, and he can get them. Uh-oh.
Got more than enough to bully the anti-air of GogojOey. Spore does finish up, but doesn't really have a buffer to it. The Link slip in because the wall is not a wall. That was the Queen's major job, and fortunately they were too dead to really do it.
Yeah, the mutas are just far too high in numbers. The Lings even focus down the Spores. Every single Spore is going down, and without Spores there is no answer to these Mutalisks. GogojOey, he just didn't spot them in time. He didn't recognize what was going on, and now this is what happens. Like, mutas, they just get out of control.
Yeah, taking out drone after drone after drone. They don't even care about the Queens at the moment.
Exactly, 10 drones do get picked off. Finally, the queen count is high enough to be able to force this back, and the Spores are being remade. So GogojOey, he's okay. He's actually ahead in the worker count, surprisingly enough. It just goes to show how few drones EnDerr was working with.
Yeah, now that a lot of the Links have been dealt with, there really is an easy answer to all these roaches. The mutas will help. Okay, finally they meet up, and they are enough to chase the roaches away.
Yeah. Looks like these roaches are going to get cleaned up before they even get into a mineral line, so they will not deal any economic damage. But once again, they give GogojOey some breathing room, and you can argue that's a little bit more important. So now he finally has more than one Spore in each base. He's making more Spores, more Queens. He has survived. and he's trying to stabilize, and he's trying to work on a hive.
As quickly as possible. No Hydra Den yet. So, yeah, I guess you utilize Vipers and Infestors from the looks of things.
This is scary though. The Mutacloud is strong enough to take out these spores. And if these spores go down, then the hive is going to go down as well. Oh, he actually doesn't commit.
Oh, okay. Interesting choice there by EnDerr, but once again, this is just giving GogojOey even more breathing room. He dips back in.
Yeah, and this is what I was worried about. The spores are getting picked off left and right. The queens are going to be able to respond, though, and all those lings earlier were taken out by the roaches, so they can't really punish the fact that the queens get moved out of position.
And EnDerr still has not made a drone, or redroned.
Yeah. Still working off of a really low drone count. I mean, he picked off a couple of drones here and there of GogojOey, so he was able to equalize a little bit. But the hive is done, and as soon as that finishes up, we are going to be seeing those Vipers.
Yeah, I really fear that equalizing may not be enough here for EnDerr.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, he's trying to bounce between the bases, and GogojOey is having a hard time keeping up with his queen, so he is losing a lot of mining like every single time this happens.
And that can have an add-on effect as the game continues to go on. Unable to get really as much minerals or gas as you would like.
Yeah, ooh, a couple of the mutas are getting picked off here and there, though, by these queens. We have a bit of a ling run by, but again, the roaches are already here at the third base. They should be able to defend. Oh, unless they get surrounded. No, they don't get surrounded.
They almost do, but yeah, they're able to pull it back to the choke point in time. Only a handful of Hydralisks on the way at the moment. GogojOey is starting to get very mineral starved.
Yeah, he's also supply blocked at the moment, which isn't helping either. Loses a couple of units though, frees up some supply.
A blessing in disguise, really.
There you go. And GogojOey is going to be working on this big Hydra Roach Queen push, which could work out for him. We'll see if he actually pushes though. He's working on a Lurker Den as well, so he may still wait at home for that.
I feel like that would be the wrong choice. Well, I say that, but at the same time, EnDerr hasn't been taking up for a while. Now he is seeing his own Lurker Den, but Hive is going to be much later for him. He's not going to be able to upgrade his Lurkers as effectively as GogojOey. Beautiful Parabomb!
Yeah, Parabomb does connect. We do see EnDerr split off though, so he will keep the majority of his mutas alive, but at least he is forced all the way back. And, I mean, EnDerr is working towards that late game ZvZ that everyone is working towards. That is Hydra Lurker Viper. That is where you want to be, and EnDerr is getting there a little bit faster, but GogojOey has a much stronger upgrade advantage when it comes to his Hydras.
Yeah, it feels like EnDerr is getting there faster, but GogojOey is getting there stronger.
Exactly. To be fair, EnDerr is still keeping these mutas alive, and they'll still keep GogojOey at home, so it is going to give EnDerr the opportunity to catch up when it comes to those upgrades and the overall lurker count. Ooh, even catches all these roaches as they try to go for a run by. Are we going to see another Parabomb? Up!
Not yet! Pretty soon though, the Vipers... Okay, not honing in for the kill.
They don't go for it, they don't, and it looks like GogojOey can finally slowly get a fourth, maybe? Up! He will.
He can try, and yeah. He can try and succeed.
Just barely. GogojOey doing a really good job of splitting up his army, keeping these roaches at the natural so ling run-bys don't come in, and prioritizing these lurkers, again, to help defend against those lings. Oh my god! The mutas all just come in!
Yeah, they pounce immediately on top of the Vipers, and that will be their undoing. The combination of the Parabombs, and the Queens, and the Hydras will take out the vast majority of them. And just like that, look at the army supply of EnDerr plummet compared to GogojOey.
Mate, now there's nothing stopping GogojOey from counterattacking. I don't think that was the best move. I understand what EnDerr did. He's like, the time for mutas have come and gone. I'm going to sacrifice them to kill the Vipers. And he did kill the Vipers, to be fair. But as you were saying, like, he just doesn't have the numbers. Oh, where's the detection?
You know who does have the numbers?
Where's the detection? Oh, God!
Not in this location is the answer to that question. It's actually no overseers until now.
Yeah, GogojOey, he loses a handful of Hydras and a Lurker for free. He has to come back home, and this Ling run by. Oh,
Almost kills the 4th base, but the transfuses are clutch enough to deal with that. 1 meter remains.
oh
From
my
the massive flock from earlier.
Jesus. Thankfully, there was plenty of transfused energy, so thankfully GogojOey keeps it alive. He's remaking the Vipers from earlier, working on his upgrades, and now we are getting into a late game ZvZ. Both players have 4 bases. Both players have decent upgrades that they've gotten here. They've arrived.
Not really what I expected from these 2 players, but I'm glad we had an EA match at least.
Yeah, we don't see it too often in Southeast Asian ZvZ. I agree 100%, but we're getting it here. Meanwhile, we had a bit of a cheeky run by. No, the Vipers! No! They're getting picked off!
Just like so. One of them goes down immediately. The other one looked to be close behind, but they get blinded clouded. Where's the
Oh
end up?
god! A couple more Vipers go down for free. So EnDerr, he just lost 3 Vipers for free, and GogojOey just lost 1. At the same time, we have a Lurker run by, but there's nothing to protect the Lurkers, and there is detections that they're getting picked off.
1 by 1, slowly but surely. But EnDerr is trading a bit more efficiently in these engagements.
Oh, he is. Finally, GogojOey deals with the army. He can come back and deal with the main force here, but GogojOey just lost so many workers.
One after the other. I think the first time this game, EnDerr is pulling ahead in the work count.
God. And EnDerr, now he's getting ready to push in. He reinforces with even more Hydras. Oh, pushing into Lurkers is never a good thing, though, and he actually yoinks the detection.
Yeah, no detection left here for EnDerr. Oh no, 2 things of detection left.
Yeah. I don't know if a yoink is what GogojOey needed there. There's plenty of detection. Oh, God.
Blinding Cloud would probably have been better.
Yeah, Blinding Cloud would have been insane, but unfortunately he didn't go for it. He is gathering a lot of energy, but he's actually running out of buildings to suck on. These hatcheries are getting a little bit low.
Oh, that's why you just throw on a second macro hatchery, right?
That's what EnDerr's already set up for, true.
Speaking of setting up, EnDerr has a massive Hydra count compared to GogojOey's. Not as many Lurkers though, but it doesn't really matter in the end if your Lurkers are unable to burrow.
Yeah, speaking of Lurkers, EnDerr, he had them harassing on the right-hand side. GogojOey is being pulled apart because he just doesn't have the supply. You can see he's struggling to split up his army. Finally, he's going to turn around and deal with these Lurkers, but at the same time, the Hydras push in, but this time, the Lurkers are in position.
Yeah, I just try to push in. The Lurkers are there to push him out.
Yeah. GogojOey finally he's able to get something go his way. For the longest time he has had the upgrade advantage as well, but EnDerr is catching up. The longer this goes on, like the closer he is to just getting further and further ahead.
But you bear in mind, he's already a little ahead. He gets even more ahead, can you imagine?
GogojOey's out of position. This base will finally go down. It's barely been alive for the past 5 minutes, but it does finally fall.
GogojOey is forced to pull everything back to try to deal with this, but even I'm not convinced it's going to be enough.
Yeah, another Ling run by as well. 26 drones have fallen. Again, it's one of those things where GogojOey, he just can't keep up with all this aggression. He has a lot of Lurkers, though. Is there a world where maybe he takes one really good fight?
It's a definite possibility here. I mean, with adaptive talents, you can use these Lurkers both aggressively and defensively.
I think maybe there's a world where there's enough DPS here where maybe he can try and hit a base with the army. Oh god, who's gonna buy first? Oh, GogojOey does! The Lurkers! Oh! Oh my god.
Picked off pretty much immediately. It's a nice little start
to
the engagement, but here come the yoinks from EnDerr's side.
Oh god, they're both yoinking each other, and again, EnDerr's just coming out on top every time. Sure, he lost 4 Lurkers earlier, but he can afford to lose Lurkers. Oh my god.
but maybe not Vipers.
Yeah, a couple of Vipers get picked off. Again, very nice, very efficient trades here from GogojOey, but this is it. This is the only army he has. He cannot afford to rebuild it. He just doesn't have the workers, and he's being overwhelmed.
From just about every single angle, these lurkers have done a ton when it comes to trading efficiently, but in the end, GogojOey cannot match the sheer numbers of EnDerr.
Exactly, like GogojOey he takes the best fight he could have hoped for. He actually targeted down all the detection, but there are reinforcements coming. That's the biggest problem right now. EnDerr has the money to rebuild, whereas GogojOey, this is all he has to work with. He's trying so hard, though.
Yeah, you gotta give him credit for that. This is his tournament life on the line. He wants that title of Grand Platypus 2021, but it is not to be. GG in the end. EnDerr takes that series and will be the final Grand Platypus Open champion of 2021. Out of nowhere, after a long hiatus, shows up, smashes everyone. Very well played.
GG, well played to both of our players. It went all the way to the ace match, and even in the ace match for the first time in a long time, because it doesn't happen often when Miyamika plays against GogojOey. It went to the late game, it went to Hydra Lurker Viper on both sides, and in the end, it looked like GogojOey was on the back foot, but he was slowly recovering. But there were a couple of moves, there were a couple of swift moves where EnDerr, he would distract the army, go in with a lurker, go in with a Ling run by, or a lurker run by, or a Hydra run by, and take out a mineral line. And he did that so often. Whereas GogojOey, I don't think he ever got across the map with his army that entire game. Even towards the end, he was fighting in the middle of the map, but like, he was never able to hit any of the mineral lines of EnDerr.
Yeah, the closest he got every single time was early on in the game with his roaches, right? But at that point, EnDerr already had enough to meet that army of GogojOey. I think there were a couple of occasions where GogojOey did see a couple of lurkers behind mineral lines, but he was never really able to get too many kills with those either.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Oh god. Just messaging the players a little bit here, and yeah, I'm just very impressed with how they both played, and this is why we're like big fans of EnDerr, and we always want to follow him whenever he shows up. He doesn't show up often, but whenever he does, like, he's looking to make a tournament run happen. You know, he is one of the best players in all of Southeast Asia and Oceania.
He was champion.
Yeah, there's something about the end of the year. It happened even last year. He was the DreamHack Winter Champion of 2020, and it took until the end of 2021 for him to really come into form as well. I hope he sticks with it. He's such a good player. It's just, I know it can be hard though, because we are getting into the off season, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be a pretty massive lull until we get and by lull I do mean LULL. Not the emote. I don't mean the emote. We are getting to the off-season, a bit of a massive lull. There's still going to be plenty of tournaments to play in. OSC will still have tournaments. We will be back in 2021 after a couple of weeks in 2021 with some tournaments as well. But it's not quite the same as, say, a DreamHack run or an ANZ Champs or something like that. I'm hoping that in this off-season, EnDerr doesn't, get too discouraged or what have you.
Exactly, because it is difficult to be motivated to maintain form and even improve when you're not a part of IEM Katowice. IEM Katowice is the big event, and it's coming in the next like 2 months, which is great. Same with like Home Story Cup as well. But that only really favors like the best players in Europe and Korea, and the very best at the very top of NA, for example. When it comes to these smaller regions, they're not really going to be a part of it, right? I'm talking about Latin America, Taiwan, Hong Kong, Oceania, Southeast Asia. there aren't any really big events that they can take advantage of. So it does always take a little bit more motivation to be active. So I wish the best to everyone in Southeast Asia and Oceania. I know, like, Oreo, he wants to be active as well. He wants to stay motivated and play more. Same can be said for EnDerr and GogojOey, right? And Demi.
Oh, absolutely, Demi. He's one of the few people who I think played AoE and then thought, you know what, this isn't for me. He's taking advantage of the time where every other pro is busy playing that.
Exactly. And yeah, hopefully they have a chance to shine, and next year especially. We didn't really get to talk about it, but next year is the final confirmed year of competitive StarCraft of the ESL Pro Circuit.
It is, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, for now, we'll wait until Apollo's announcement at the end of the year.
Exactly.
I'm not sure if he's allowed to say at that point whether or not they'll continue in 2023 and whatnot, but yeah, we'll wait and see what happens.
Yeah, like it's kind of 2023 is a big question mark for everyone. What is going to happen? Are we going to see more of the same? Are we going to see a restructured version of the ESL Pro Circuit, of the Pro Tour? Are we going to see something different? It's
done service.
Yeah. Yeah, we just don't really know. What I kind of believe, and the way that I think of it, is I imagine that ESL want to support StarCraft just because they kind of got the short end of the stick for the majority of 2020 and 2021 when it comes to their live events. That's where they make their money. They make money selling tickets for DreamHack and IEM. That's what ESL are all about. And they couldn't do that because of lockdowns, because of COVID. So now that that's kind of easing up, and now that we're having offline events again, I know they want to run as many offline events as they can to recoup and make as much money as they can. And I'm sure StarCraft is going to be a part of that. We'll see.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed, mate. Fingers crossed. Regardless. Congratulations to EnDerr, mate. Last GPO champion of the year.
Of the year.
The year, mate.
Of the year.
Oh, God. It's been a wild ride. And we all know that the only reason why EnDerr won was because of his third base at his natural.
Exactly. That's facts.
Facts, mate. Facts.
You have the evidence.
There you go. It's really the only differentiation between the two players. So I mean, that's got to be it, right?
Right.
Oh, God. But yeah, with that, thank you everyone for tuning in for the last GPO of the year. Obviously, we still have a couple more events to cast. Yesterday we were casting DreamHack Last Chance. DreamHack Last Chance NA is going to be in a couple of days as well, and we're still going to be all over that. And Steel is still going to be casting Master Swan Open this week.
Yeah, tomorrow, our final Cranky Ducklings event of the year, until I'm hoping that the API does get fixed before we come back next year.
Yeah.
Our final Cranky Ducklings event of the year. I encourage everybody within the MMR range of 0, well, not 0, because you do need to play games and be ranked to qualify, but around that range of 1 to 4.9k to sign up and play in that. It's great fun. And Steel will be there with his VTuber outfit.
He will. Steel will be there, so yeah, we like to have a lot of fun with our amateur events. It's an opportunity if you're part of the community to be a part of a tournament itself full of amateur players and try and exceed and do well. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's also something that we've been running for many years. 4 years, mate. Jesus.
Yeah, 4 years. Wait, is it 4 years? Because MSO did come a little bit after SEO.
Ooh, I
Not
think
by
20.
that much, but
SDO was 2017. MSO was 2018.
yeah.
Yeah.
I used to be 17.
4 years, mate. 4 years of amateur events. Let's go. So, yeah.
4 more years.
4 more years. 4 more years. Let's go. Thank you everyone for supporting us in the chat. Yaku, are you going to be streaming this week? Are you going to be streaming at some point in December before the holidays? Or before 2022, I should say.
It's probably not before the holidays. If I do end up streaming, it'll probably be after the holidays. We'll see. Whenever I get Jurassic World Evolution 2. Whenever I decide to either A, the price of that goes down, or B, I say, you know what? Since I'm not getting a piano.
Shaking my head, Yaku, shaking my head.
I'll probably stream at some point, but don't want to make any promises with that. But yeah, if I do, it'll be over at twitch.tv/Yakuzaku1. I'll announce it over at twitter.com at @Yakuzaku. If I forget to announce it, !Discord in the chat. You'll have the announcer bot, the stream live bot, will tell you if I go live, because that is the Cranky Ducklings Discord server.
True. There you go, mate. There you go. Also, before we head off, I want to give a shout out to Lord Loken. As always, he was able to support and contribute to the Matcherino page. !Matcherino in the chat. We do not have a coupon code, but if you want, you can donate with your own money. We don't require you to do that by any means. It's just something that you can do, and all the money on Matcherino goes straight to the players, the first and second place players. So, yeah.
It's kind of unfortunate. With how the restructuring on I keep wanting to say challenge, Matcherino, how Matcherino works. I think it's gonna be a while before we have coupon codes available here, but that's why you too should hit that subscribe button so we can increase our base pool and convince Matcherino to give us some coupon codes.
Yeah, we do have a Matcherino page, a Patreon page. Then that's kind of where we fund and try and grow our events. Once we hit certain tiers on Patreon, that we can like grow and unlock certain things that we want, like growing the prize pool, growing the tournament itself, and again, being able to pay the admins and the casters. That's kind of like the dream goal
and the players
for our Patreon and the players. True.
Yeah, I think that was actually one of the tiers we had, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Once we hit that, we signed our players.
Oh god. But with that, we are done here for the day. Tomorrow we'll be still multicasting
in the VTuber,
in the VTuber, yes.
The
and
persona.
in his persona. And we'll see you then. Thank you everyone for watching. We'll see you tomorrow. Ciao.
Bye. Bella. Because that's Yu-Gi-Oh.